What's going on? Hi, Selena. How are you? I hope that you're doing amazing. I know that you had a little injury that turned out to be a big injury. Hey, Frederick, how are you? Hopefully, you're doing amazing. We're talking about quantum growth over the age of 40 for those of us that are over 40. And I have good news for you. Hey, Karen. Hey, hey, hey. How are you today? I like that. That rhymes. So, quantum growth. First of all, I never assume that people know what terms are. So, I'm pulled up the definition of quantum growth. I'm sure you've heard of it, quantum leaps. But quantum is a discrete quantity of energy proportionate in magnitude to the frequency of the radiation it represents. Now, who's 40? Isabel, I know you're not 40, but you know what? It works for 30, it works for 35, it works for 40. But you know what I found out? When you put out some content, if you tell people who it's for, then you get those people. So we know you're not 40, but it's okay. Welcome. We're glad to have you. So glad. So let me repeat that. Quantum is the discrete quantity of energy proportional in magnitude to the frequency of radiation it express or that it represents. I apologize, that it represents. So what does that mean? Because that means nothing to me. I mean, that is the official definition, but it means nothing to me. So I had to break it down for myself, which means I got you to break it down for also. So quantum growth is the exponential growth at the vibe that you're spinning off. It's your growth at the vibe or the frequency or the energy that you're putting out into the world. That's quantum growth. Now, why is that important? And here's the inside tip and the break that I'm giving all of my people over 40. Because here's the problem. You're over 40 and you're thinking, how come I'm not living the life that I deserve? How come I've done all this work? I've put in the time. Why aren't I where I see myself? And I know us men, you're providing for your family, you're trying to make sure you're okay, but we find ourselves out of sorts, we find ourselves out of shape, we find ourselves out of finances. And it's not just the men, it's all of us. We're all lacking somewhere, and we're trying to figure out, why is this game so hard? I got to put my glasses back on to read the comments. So Isabel, you're writing to me. The higher the frequency, the higher the growth. The higher the frequency, the faster the growth is what I would say. And there's no right or wrong answer per se. It's what we all believe about ourselves. But when you talk about quantum, you talk about large leaps of getting somewhere faster than you expect. But here's the rub. So we are sitting in these positions in our life where we, again, are questioning, Isabel, we've had this conversation. You're putting out your content, you're drawing amazingly large crowds, and you're like, where are the results? So where are the results? And I would say to you, not to you, but to everybody, when we're thinking about, quantum growth, we also want to think about, overnight sensations, right? We believe that we witness these people that come out of the woodwork and we didn't hear of them ever before. And all of a sudden, I mean, they're everywhere. They're all over your IG. They're all over your social media. They're on Facebook. They're on LinkedIn. They're everywhere. And you can't get away from them. You're getting their emails. You're getting their text messages. And you're like, where the heck did these people come from? And how did they make such an amazing leap? And how do they did it so fast? And how come I'm not experiencing that solution also? Are you feeling me, Fred? See, I've always liked the name Frederick because it's Fred Derek. Derek, exactly how I spell my name, is inside Frederick. Cool name, bro. So, there is no such thing as overnight sensations, as I'll tell you. There is no such thing as an instant quantum leap. Here's where I'm going to help you understand, like, where your cheat sheet is, where your break is. If you're over 40, you have been putting in the work for 15 to 20 years. I've been putting in the work for 30 years. When I went out to buy Gant Manor is the big ass house that I bought in 2005. 8,000 square foot house, 2,000 square foot in living space in the theater room in the basement. It was just a huge monstrosity of a house. Very proud of it. You know, I have a thing about Batman, so it's a Wayne Manor, so we have Gant Manor. So when I went to go buy Gant Manor, you know, what I did specifically was I focused all of my known resources, everything that I had learned about finances, everything that I learned about credit, everything that I learned about how to make money work, about people's motivation for buying, for selling, for financing. I took everything that I had learned up to that age and I focused it on this one point, which was securing this home. And obviously, it's called Gant Manor, so I was able to do it, but I did it at my personal health detriment. I ended up getting sick after I accomplished this goal. So I had this quantum leap, but I wasn't in the right vibration, so I forced it. I was able to do it, but then I got sick and I wasn't able to do much for a little while because I was sick. So what am I here saying to you for all of us that are over 40? What I'm saying to you is that you have already put in all of the work. You've done the reading, and if you haven't, then you know you need to start doing some things, but you've already done the work. So you've already been doing the reading. You've been doing your work. I don't care if you switch jobs. You know, we know people that were in the Air Force, and then they were massage therapists, and then they were fitness instructors, and then they became, you know, mindset life coaches and speaker on big platforms. You've heard of people that have switched all these things. But if you don't understand that the universe is perfectly positioning you for what is to come, for your purpose and your greatness, you're going to need something that you got out of each one of those experiences to deliver the ultimate greatness. And you may look like a quantum leap, but you have prepared yourself incredibly. You have spent thousands and thousands of hours positioning yourself for greatness. If you have a question about this, just reach out and ask, or if you don't agree, by all surety, reach out and send me a note. Send me a note right here and we'll talk about it. But you have prepared yourself. I know that I am immensely prepared to speak to millions of people about how to fix their mindset, not because I'm a mindset coach, but because when it comes to finance, when it comes to fitness, when it comes to the 5 core pillars of your life, I have grinded for years trying to figure out how to be 57 and still fit. I have grinded to figure out how to write a book and get it done at a high level, right? Now, one thing that I think a lot of people miss, I mean, it is just a big miss, is that you have to invest in yourself. If you think when I wrote this book, it was me sitting down with a pen and paper and a laptop and writing, you're wrong. I hired somebody and paid them big money to edit the book, to give me direction, to reorganize my thoughts so that they will be congruent enough for you to grab the book and say, this is what I need to do to be fit at 40. This is what I need to do to get my mind right. So I'm not thinking about yesterday, but I'm thinking about right now. And right now I need to put this money in a position that's going to enhance my life. But you've already done all of this work. So what tips do I have? Because I'm not here to talk your ear off. I'm going to give you some tips for those of you that are over 40 and you really want to make quantum leaps. So let's just say you're like, you know what? Okay, fine, Derek. I got all this stored up amazing stuff that I've done. It's sitting in my head, waiting to explode, to come out of my mouth so people can understand it, so my boss can appreciate it, so people will understand where I am, who I am, and what I have to deliver to the world. Why and what do I need to do? So here we go. First of all, you have to understand and believe that there is no overnight sensations. You have put in the work. So now you deserve to reap the benefits of the work that you put in, and you have to believe you don't have to wait. So it starts with your mindset. What do you believe? Do you believe you have to do some more take some more classes. You won't believe how many clients I have that think they still need to take more classes. They need to go to therapy. They need to write more. They need to read more. They think they need to do all these things outside of themselves to accomplish this. So the first thing is that believe that you have everything that you need. God gave you everything that you need, and you just have to be willing to let it go. You got to be willing to let it go. So I'm going to tell you this, and you can go back and watch this on YouTube or wherever you happen to be, LinkedIn, Facebook. And I do appreciate all of you jumping on. And if you would, share this, like it, share it, so that other people can jump on and hear some of these things, because there's a lot of us over 40 that are struggling with our mindset, struggling with our will, struggling to not give up, so share it, please. Thank you. So here's the thing. There's a couple things I want you to do. Number one, I want you to write down what it is that you want. You don't write it down and send it to me. I don't need it. I need you to write down, hey, Charles, my man, write down what it is you want. And you have to, when you write it down, you're going to figure out that, number one, it's very difficult to write down the big thing you want. Like, what is the big thing I want? You got to write it down. Now, I'm saying write it down, but I'm telling you, I've written mine down in my planner for years, and not every day, but I still struggle with, is that it? Is that clear enough? Is that crystal clear about what it is that I want? You can say, I want to be financially free. What the frick and frack does that mean? Because it doesn't mean anything. Okay. I want to not have any debt. I want to have, $300,000 in cash. I want to have my retirement set. I want to be able to come and go as I put. Now there's clarity, and I want to do it by this point. I want this by this point. I want to be this size. I want to be this size by this point. I want to live in this region of the world. I want to live stress free. I want my blood pressure down. I want to not take any medicines. Are you feeling me over 40? Are you feeling me? You got to be crystal clear about what you want. So number one, write down what you want and keep writing it. If you can't get it clear, just keep rewriting it. And it might take you months. It might take you years, but you got to start somewhere. And I know you may think, oh, it's not going to take a lot. I've been through it. I'm telling you, you think you know you, but until you start really jumping in and doing the work, you're lying to yourself. If you want to get that money, you got to do the work. So start writing it down. Number two, you got to block out the noise, because nobody wants it as bad as you. And if you find somebody that wants what you say you want more than you do, you are in trouble. And I know this for a fact. I did it with my son when he went to high school. He was not a fan of, neither one of my boys were fans of higher education, which meant that if they could get away without going to school, they would have. I would have too. So I'm not judging them. They got it honest. But I understood that I needed it in order to do and live the life that I saw for myself. But when my son was in high school, we sat down every day and we did his homework, right? He would tell me what his homework was, and I would do it. I would grab the workbook and start reading. I would grab his textbook and start reading, find the answers. I would show him how to go here and do this way. And so then I would let him do his homework. And then honestly, we would argue about it, which is right out of the book. So why you would argue, I don't know, but he used to argue. He just loved to argue with me. So, or maybe he didn't love it, but this is his nature. So one day I call him after school, like as soon as school is over. And I heard myself. Have you ever had an out-of-body experience where you hear yourself? I heard myself say, hey, Jord, how did we do on the Spanish test? I heard myself say it. How did we do? And as I listened to myself saying this, I was like, bro, you didn't have a Spanish test. And I was like, wow, I'm too invested. I'm more invested in his education than he is. I have clients like that. I want them to win so bad that it frustrates me. And I frustrate my team, because we want our clients to win financially so bad that we are willing to do things that we really shouldn't do because the client should be doing it. Is that you? You got to block out the noise and you've got to figure out what you want. And then you have to want it more than anybody else. Block out the noise, block out some windows where you're focusing on you and what your shortcomings are. We're talking about exponentially growing. We're talking about quantum leaps, right? So if you want quantum, you got to get quiet. Quietly quantum. And what I was saying to you is that other people don't want it as bad as you, which means that they're going to want to go to the movies. They're going to want to go to the concert. They want to go spend some money over here. They want to go eat these burgers, right? We're doing this challenge that I'm not going to talk about here, but if you want to jump on the challenge, let me know because we're having a meeting right after this. But anyway, we got people doing the challenge. They're like, look, my biggest problem is my spouse wants to go out to dinner every other night, but I can't eat healthy if we're going out to dinner. Got to let them know this is what I'm doing. You can go out to dinner. I'll see you when you get home, honey. Right? Or if I go, I'm having water because I'm eating healthy, unless there's a healthy choice at the restaurant. And sometimes there are, sometimes they're not. What else do you need? If you want to, if over 40 and you want to make a huge leap, you need to embrace lifelong learning. You know, when I graduated college, I swore before Almighty God I wasn't going to read another goddamn book. I did. I graduated college. I said, I'm done. I got my degree. I will never read another book. And I swear to you, within 6 months, I read like 3 or 4 books. No Money Down, Investing by Robert Allen. I read Donald Trump's book, whatever his name, Absolute Power. I read 3 or 4 books like within 6 months. I wrote a book. I'm reading constantly. If you're not reading in the window of your expertise to help your quantum leap, you're missing the boat. You got to stay current. We already talked about setting clear goals. Seek guidance and a mentor. Seek guidance and a mentor. Listen, if you want to make a big leap, you take what you know, those 20 years that you've been mastering and working and growing as a human. You got to take that and you have to marry it with someone that's already done what you want to do, because they can leap you to where they are, or they can at least leapfrog you over some steps that are going to save you. I was listening to this book, The Art of the Impossible. Okay. It's part of my book that I'm reading right now. And the guy was talking about, if you read a blog post, it took that person 3 days to write that blog post, but it took you less than 5 minutes. The average person reads 750 words a minute or something like that. Maybe it's 250. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was explaining it takes you 3 minutes to read this, but it took somebody 3 days to write it. So you're getting 3 days by reading the blog post. When you read a magazine article, it takes them 3 months to research, to verify, and to make sure everything is exactly right. It takes you 20 minutes to read the article. It took them 3 months to write it. That means you're picking up 3 months. And let's not even get into what he said about the book. You're picking up 15 years. You're picking up 30 years of my experience by buying this book, that you don't have to go through that pain. That is a quantum leap. If you want a quantum, never stop learning, never stop reading, get there faster. You have to expand your network. If you keep hanging around the same flunky people, you're going to get flunky results. You need to change the people that are in your circle. Go out and network, meet new people. Don't be afraid. And if you are afraid, do it anyway. It's called courage, right? People with courage are afraid, but they do it anyway. Now, for you over 40 people, you got to embrace technology. You have to embrace technology. Things are moving so fast. I got people to go, oh, I don't want to use my electronic wallet. Let me tell you something. Digital currency is coming, and they're going to force it on you. And if you're not ahead of the curve, guess what? You're behind the curve. And if you're behind the curve, now you're afraid, you're scared, you're going to have people help you, and then those people are going to rip you off. Get it. Just do it now, little by little, before it's forced on you. You have to stay flexible and adaptable. You're going to get a guide. You're going to get a mentor. You're going to get a coach. They're going to tell you some things that seem weird and out of the box. But if you knew everything, you would already be doing everything and you wouldn't need the coach. But you do need the coach. I need a coach. The Tony Robbins has a coach. The best of the best have a coach. That's right. Do it scared. You got to do it scared. If you're scared, do it anyway. Practice self-reflection. I call it recalibrating. You got to look in the mirror and say, where am I short? Where do I need help? And where can I get it so I'm not mess around with this? You're not good at the digital stuff. Find somebody to help you so that you can get good without going through all the mistakes that everybody else is going through, holding you back. Don't do it. And then most importantly, I'm going to suggest to you that you have to challenge your comfort zone. You got to get out of the box. There's nothing inside the box that's going to help you that you don't already know. Get out of that box and spread your wings. Take some chances. If you're scared, do it anyway. And then there's two things. Give back, which means help somebody else. You relearn things. You learn new things when you're giving back, when you're helping other people, right? I helped Isabel with a mobile app, and she helped me expand my LinkedIn profile. I refused to learn how to do it. Right? Because I was not going to go learn the hard way. But when I met her and she needed help with one thing and I needed help with the other, she said, okay, here's the Cliff Notes, brother. And she actually calls me her big brother. Here's the Cliff Notes of what you need to do. And boom, I think I've added at least 150 people since I've met her over 30 days, right? She has 200 a week, but that's a whole different story. So give back. And then finally, the last thing is you have to stay positive. Think about it. Quantum leaps is the exponential growth that you give from the vibe that you're spinning off to the universe. If you're spinning off, this won't work. I can't believe I got to go through this. Why me? If that's what you're spinning, it's spinning back. It's boomeranging back. And if you don't believe it, now don't get me wrong. I know that anger and frustration and sometimes fear is an amazing motivator, but it cannot be your overriding motivator because it's not healthy, right? A little bit of anger, a little bit of frustration, a little bit of aggression goes far in a short period of time. But let's get positive. Let's know. We talked about this a few weeks ago between the difference between believing and knowing. I believe I'm going to do well versus, oh yeah, I know I'm going to do well. It's a whole world of difference. People that when you go, oh, no, I know I can help you. People are like, oh, really? How can you help me? Oh, listen, I can already give you 3 examples. When I go to meetings, I already have 3 examples of how I can help somebody. I already have 3. I just go do a little bit of homework on them, ask a few questions, and I already have 3 things I can help them with that are huge money savers. Charles, you see what I'm saying? You feeling my vibe. You know what? It's called exponential growth, quantum leaps. Hey, if you have any questions, reach out. If you need some help, if you need some coaching, if you need someone to get in that, I'm your man. Just reach out, direct message me. You can go to Join Derek. Frederick, you can go to, Frederick. We're close to Derek. It's close to Derek, Frederick. I didn't really look at it, but anyway, you can go to joinderek.com and it's DERICK, joinderek.com, and message me and say, I want a coach. I need a coach. I need to exponentially get my quantum leap together. I need to get my quantum growth together. I need to get my quantum life together. And we'll help you. We'll talk. We'll sit down. We'll figure it out. Don't let money get in your way. You have to invest in yourself. If you don't invest in yourself, you're missing the boat. All of us invest, right? You invest in church. You invest in the community. You invest everywhere but yourself. So I'm going to encourage you, if you want that money, you better invest in yourself. Hey, it's not too late to join the challenge if you want to join the challenge. Also, you can message me and we'll get you up to date. We're doing 30, 60, and 75 days. You get to pick which one you want to do. If you have any questions, reach out. I didn't get any hearts today. I mean, I got like none. Karen, I got like no hearts. Elizabeth, I got no hearts. I'm not sure what happened. Selena, I got no hearts. I don't know. There's like 15 people on here and I got no hearts, but it's okay. I'll get some next time. So listen, I'm Derek Gant. I want you to be your best, bring your best, leave nothing to chance. Have an amazing holiday. Thank you, Karen. Have an amazing holiday and enjoy yourselves, but do the work. Write down what it is that you truly, truly want. And I promise you, when you start focusing all of your energy in that direction, you'll get it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's time to live your life. Derek Gant, show them how to take it to the highest height. Hey, this is more than financial advice. Show you how to take control. Time to get your money right. Money management, I know that we all need financial independence. Yeah, it seems out of reach, but you can make it happen. Now it's time for some action, helping you with your finances. Yeah, we got a passion. Hey, ain't no limit. Now it's time to get it. You deserve to have a life how you wanna live it. Secrets to success. Now it's time to get it right. Yeah, I'm talking all about that 24K life. Let's go. This the vibe. For real, I'm trying to tell you. Tell me if you ready to take it to the next level. Derek Gant, talking fitness and investment. Change your mindset and show you how it's all connected. Ain't no need to hesitate or delay. Only way to live life is a 24K. Hey, Derek Gant, let them know. Let's go.
All right, the 24K life, for those of you that don't know, and I should open up with this every time I come out live, the 24K life is not about being rich. It is about becoming pure as gold. Gold is pure because it goes through a purification process of intense heat where it gets rid of the lead, it gets rid of the aluminum, it gets rid of the copper, it gets rid of the iron, and all that's left for pure gold is 24 karat gold. So if we get rid of our laziness, if we get rid of our ignorance, if we get rid of being around the wrong people, if we get rid of our bad money habits, our bad mindset habits, our bad eating habits, if we get rid of the things that are holding us back, we can become pure, your pure version. And when you do that, the world is waiting, and they're waiting with that money. I'm Derek Gant. Be your best, bring your best, leave nothing to chance. Hey, have a great week.